Who do we have with us today?
Hi, my name is Renay.
So Renay, can you tell me a little bit about why you came to see our office and how you learned about it?
In 2016, January, I came down with food poisoning, and I saw my family doctors and some gastroenterologist doctors who basically told me I started suffering from heartburn, acid reflux. Anything that I ate just made me feel bad. Upper stomach pain, lower abdominal pain, and the doctors basically told me that this was going to be my way of life. And they put me on 5 different types of medication, from antacids to, I guess, myelantas to acid reflux medications. And it got to a point where I felt it was making me worse digestion-wise. I felt like my food was just sitting in my stomach. So I decided to take myself off of it and try supplementing with apple cider vinegar, because I read a lot of health benefits from that. But after about a year of battling, I went back to the family doctor, who sent me back to my original gastroenterologist, and he said, well, I think you have small intestinal bacteria overgrowth. So he gave me, in January of 2017, gave me a course of an antibiotic that, unbeknownst to me, wiped out all of the good bacteria in my intestines and allowed the bad bacteria to go rampant. At that time, I was not able to eat pretty much anything. I lost 20 pounds within 1 month. I felt like the adrenal glands crashed. My hormones were all over the place. I basically was laying on the couch and wanted to die.
So wait, now go back. Your adrenal glands, your hormones, what did you feel like? I mean, not everybody knows what that feels like. What did it feel like to you?
I couldn't get off the couch. I had just enough energy to get up and go to the bathroom and then go back and lay on the couch. Crying constantly because of the pain. I started going to Ann Arbor gastroenterologist, and they basically told me that I needed to relax, and they wanted to put me on antidepressants. And I kept insisting to them that it all started with food poisoning. I felt like no doctors were listening to me, and they just kept running more tests and more tests, and I kept saying, that's not what it is, it's not what it is, there's something wrong with my stomach. It started with food poisoning, you need to fix me. And I got to a point where, and I didn't want to take the antidepressants because I don't want to say I'm anti-medication, but I felt like I knew what it was from and nobody was listening. So I did a shout out on Facebook for prayers, and I have a cousin who had suggested I come to see Dr. Johnson because he is known as a healer. My cousin Bob told me that people come from all over, that Cleveland Clinic and the other clinics can't help these patients. They come and see Dr. Johnson. So I was very scared and skeptical because Dr. Johnson treats like different homeopathic type treatments, natural treatments, and I wasn't used to that. I was used to the conventional medication, but I knew where that got me. But I did go off all my medicines, so I was at a point where I had to take a step out because I wasn't eating, and my husband and kids were watching me just waste away. I was at the point, if I can say this, I wanted to die because I was in so much pain and I just didn't feel good, and I felt hopeless.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Dr. Johnson, begged him to see me through Facebook messages, and got in to see him of March of last year. And I remember my first visit, I came here crying and shaking. My husband had to bring me. I felt like there was no hope. And Dr. Johnson looked at me and said, "You have a parasite." And I just started bawling hysterically because I was like, finally, somebody is listening to me. Somebody cares enough to help me. And so he gave me a course of treatment that I followed for 3 months. It had food restrictions, but I was hardly eating anything anyhow at that point, and my husband said, you can do this. So I would say probably after 3 months, I started turning a corner. Although every time I came in, I kept asking Dr. Johnson, are you sure I'm going to get better? Are you sure this is going to work? And he would just give me hugs and tell me yes, that the path to healing goes up and down, and that I just need to be patient and basically kind to myself. I started NAET treatments pretty much right away also because I had a lot of allergy issues, some to food, a lot of them to environments. And it has been 11 months since I've been coming. I choose to come once a week for my NAET treatments because I want to get them done and over with. And I would say I'm 80% better.
So what can you do now that you couldn't do back when you came in and you were, as some of our younger female patients call themselves, a hot mess?
What can I do now? I was at a point where I wasn't driving, and my anxiety levels were up. And so now I'm driving, I'm going where I want to go. I just got a job, part-time job. I wanted to get back into the workforce. I pretty much do everything that I wasn't doing before. I mean, I shut down pretty much for almost 8-9 months because I didn't have the strength and the health. But with the help of the supplements you've given me, diet restrictions, which when people hear that, they go, oh my God, I can't eat this and I can't eat that. You know what? Your health is more important. If you have to be told you can't have gluten, then it's hard, but you do it because you get to a point where I want to feel better. I don't want to feel good or feel bad anymore. I want to feel good.
Right. Yeah, I was listening to a small segment on the Broken Brain series that Dr. Mark Hyman put out, and Dr. Perlmutter, David Perlmutter, who wrote Brain Maker and Grain Brain, he was saying that one course of antibiotics in your gut is never the same. So what have you learned about how important your digestive tract is to your overall health?
I will be honest. At first, I was very skeptical when I walked through your doors. I remember looking at you and Jan and all the other staff going, is this hocus pocus? Is this hocus pocus? But I am at a point now where if I get sick, I don't go to the conventional doctors. I don't want to do the antibiotics. I would rather come to you because I have and I know it works. I'm the fact that it works because
Right.
I was at a point where I couldn't eat anything and now I can eat again. I feel better. I didn't realize when I was going through my health issue how closely related the digestion, the heart, the thyroid, the hormones. I have a somewhat medical background, but I didn't realize how interconnected everything was. So it's very important to take care of your digestion. It's very important to take care of your gut because you only have one body. And if you abuse it and you don't take care of it, what do you have left? You're going to be sick the rest of your life and aches and pains and not feel good. You know, I'm back to, walking and biking and wanting to go out and socialize. I'm back to living.
Yay.
So I'm very appreciative of that.
So what happens when sometimes you think I can eat this one thing that we said that you shouldn't? Then what do you feel like?
I feel terrible. I come into your office crying, going, I don't feel good. And you look at me and you go, what did you eat? And then because I can't lie real well, I say, oh, I had gluten. And you're like, Renay, what did I tell you about that? And so then I'm like, okay, I know I did it to myself. So I don't feel good.
And let's just get out in the open. For the record, you asked me today. I have all these people are saying that about gluten.
It's not good to avoid gluten, that you need to have some gluten in your diet.
Right. So what I'm going to say is that there is no human that can digest gluten. We don't have the capability of doing it. And so a lot of people who can't digest it also have because of genetics, like myself included, have a gluten sensitivity and a celiac gene, that our body's immune system looks at that molecule as a poison and makes antibodies to it. And then that in turn, those antibodies can target certain parts of your body, like your digestive tract, your thyroid, your brain, your joints, your nervous system, your pancreas, and actually start attacking those areas too, because it looks similar to that molecule. So that's why when you start to develop intolerance to this and it creates a leaky gut, now you can start infecting a whole bunch of other parts of the body, but there's no one that can digest the product, the substance known as gluten. And it really is glutens, because there's multiple glutens, but that's another story for another video.
But I think people need to not be afraid. Like when your doctor, like a conventional doctor, a homeopathic doctor says, you know, you really need to avoid this if you want to feel better. I don't think people should be afraid of that, because nowadays there are so many alternatives out there. Like I've found tons and tons of almond flour, and you can't tell the difference. I mean, I'm very fussy with my palate, but I can't tell the difference from the almond flour pancakes now to the regular pancakes. And, you know, just being smart and eating healthier. You know, you've always told me vegetables, protein, fruit. So I really try to focus on that now. Am I perfect? No, but it's a learn in progress. And right now, you know, 11 months later, I can feel the difference in my body. I can feel the difference in my emotions and my energy level.
Yeah, that's great. Now we should point out that you come from a very short distance away.
I come from Flint, the Flint area. Yay!
And we're in Shelby Township.
Hi, Flint people.
So it's sometimes people, you know, we have people that come from up the tip of the thumb, from Ohio, and all over the place. But sometimes you're looking for a doctor to get you help, and sometimes you do have to travel, because not everybody has the type of expertise that you need to help in your current local area. So it's okay to search someone out that's a little bit further away.
And I agree with that, and I'm very appreciative to my cousin Bob, who told me to come here. I did live in this Detroit area for 23 years, and I wish I would have known about you then, because I probably would have started seeking you out at that time. But your health has got to be your number one priority. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And if you have to travel an hour to get feeling better, or 2 hours, it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point to end on. So what would you tell other people who are having challenges? What might they consider?
Be open-minded. Be open-minded to different alternatives. Listen to your body. That's the first and foremost, because if you eat something and it makes you feel terrible, listen to that and be tuned into it. Don't be afraid to take a chance on a different alternative. Embrace it and think about it, because way back when, before we had the conventional medicine, that's all we relied on.
That's
you
right.
know, we relied on the natural remedies and the homeopathic. And like me, I always said, well, Dr. Johnson, I can't take that. I've got hay fever, or I've got this, or I've got that. And he would test my body, and my body would say, no, you can have that. Don't be afraid. Try it. You know, if you do have like a reaction, then you just stop it.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. Take a chance.
Good job.
Yeah.
Well, we're happy that you received help and that you're already 80% better. It took a while, but you know, you had a tough problem. So congratulations.
Thank you. And thanks for your patience and your staff.
You bet.
It's great.
We have great people here.